enche bia yesa na busuafo mo beka ya eye doma hene ene eye asante hene nana otumfo se tutu enya ntokwa enya asem ketwa na busuafo Ghana ha de asem esi wo nkofo mienu ntema ya tebiri asem no ne da kwakodan eye asem dibia na wo mo so o ma ye eye mo hwehwemu no ba hu bia asem ne den da fi se pedi for crisis bia asem no to no afanto den efri den eto and eto so na ide na asɛ ya ese nkosua no ntebusuafo we mu na eye asem dibia fo bobu asem no mu anum ko hu se dabi eye eye asante hene nana ose tutu ono na wo se odi epem ewo asem no mu fi se nse no mu nchemu ni na ekire se doma hene odi efo.
Be the first to know in SMPTV.
Lawyer Paul Adom Otchere atanas na ensema edidwaso. Se hwe John Mahama kamia ise onim dia oye na onim dia okeka na exclusively Mahama ensem a oditu dwa oka ho asem no ene o digest nya honkoma oyi no tc manasi azuri osi akwa iso de atwere buku na buku na aka ho asem eniema ehu hia ne niema ensem fata exclusively ene o analyze buku na de wi a Lawyer Paul etikasi ewi adwe na obaba buku no kire eniema yewura manasi azuri etan ankasa woma MPP was started with yewura the president Nana Adodankwa Ekufu Addo wasi hwe okasa fa free SHS no wasi hwe obi be downgrade free SHS ana nkanya wo manasi azuri na ene Otchere mu se de yimienu yenya ye ochman ma na ye ochman ma no ye mom ye maame ne papa nom ye irresponsibility omo bebrebe na opportunity bi na onyaye na this opportunity about my union aka. Now you are talking against free SHS. Why? We are on the court judicial so na okoka enemy won say wa hwe just say the ayema abusu bakmo NAPP no what tiny pana mani who's ota owie na poso ene Lawyer Paul Adom Otchere that's what in some Lawyer Paul can you love it yam koningoti Lawyer Paul Adom Otchere nensama oditudwa ifasa ansem emutibra.
She was fully on the cards yesterday. She was in the red corner, wasn't she? And all the youth people surrounding President Mahama who put this together, I think that it was a good effort. Now, the big story coming out of President Mahama's youth manifesto is that there will be no academic fees for level 100 entrance to tertiary schools. What is the philosophy behind it? What is the point? What's the concept behind it? Here's a government that said they don't want to do free SHS. Here's a government that said that if they have 2 billion, they're not going to spend it on free SHS. Here's a government that said that they're not going to make education free in any circumstances because they are fixated on building infrastructure. Do the university have sufficient infrastructure so that we are now making fees free at tertiary level? This was President Mahama speaking ahead of 2020 elections that he was not going to implement free SHS on a whimsical, desperate promise, the whimsical promise of a desperate politician. Now this is happening. If there's a change in order, they should tell us. Are they going to come for an interview here so we can confront them with this reality that, hey, NDC, this is the situation. It's not that people don't believe it or people don't like it. The context within which you put the thing must reflect your history, your past, because you have been in government before. There were level 100 students. You didn't give them free. You've been in government for 2 terms. There were level 100 students then. You didn't give them anything free. Now, you say you don't like the education promises, but because you see that the free SHS which was promised and it was not believed and which has been implemented is the biggest driver again in this campaign, you want to participate in. Initially you started by saying that free SHS is yours. That didn't work. Now you say you will give tertiary people level 100 free. But why? What is the philosophy behind it? You said, and this is your history, you see, in this election, a lot is about history because our candidates have been with us before. They are not people we don't know, either in this capacity or that capacity. And when I come talk about Manasseh's book, there's a lot to say about that. And that's on the second paragraph of tonight's show. So, listen to President Mahama, who said that he is not going to implement free SHS on the whimsical promise of a desperate politician. Have a look.
Saying that Ghana must not introduce free SHS on the whimsical promise of a desperate politician. Many mistakes have been made by countries in Africa already with free SHS, saying that Ghana must not introduce free SHS on the whimsical promise of a desperate politician. Many mistakes have been made by countries in Africa.
That was President John Dramani Mahama. We are still studying what happened yesterday at the NDC Youth Manifesto, and so tomorrow, Thursday, we'll be here with a full dose of what we think. By that time, we have gotten into it in great detail. Later tonight, we'll bring you back the interview with Koko Anyidoho, and then you can make what you want to make out of it. Okay, yes, get me this. This is something very phenomenal, viewers. I'd like to show this to you, and I'm happy that I didn't forget it. In the production, I was scared that I might forget in the heat of it. This is on social media. You can check. It's on Halik Musa's page. Now, this is what he says, and after that, I'll roll it up so you can see the photograph. It says, for several years, I called and labeled the vice president and his government as the most useless government. Criticized them to a point Mr. Mahama called me and thanked me for standing by the NDC. This is very instructive. He goes on. The vice president had all the powers to send people to attack me at my workplace or throw me into cells. Well, the vice president hasn't got power to throw you into cells or attack you. He doesn't have the power to do so. So just learn that we're in a democracy. He has to go to police. You have to be charged for something. So that doesn't happen in a democracy. But let's move on. He didn't do that. Instead, he came to Tamale and called me for dinner through Chairman Samba and Dr. Anta. A great mark of tolerance and a good leadership. Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia, I am sorry, he says. I was attacked by the NDC for criticizing Mr. Mahama within the space of 5 minutes. And because of that, I'm not on radio again. Forgive me, sir. Now, this is the gentleman in question. The gentleman in question is the one standing to the right of Dr. Bawumia. There's a lady here, and then there's Dr. Bawumia in the middle, and then there's Mohamed Amin Anta, the finance minister who also arranged this meeting. Viewers, when you have these stories, you see, when these stories come out, then you have confidence in Ghana's democracy. You have absolute confidence in Ghana's democracy. Look at this story. This is a gentleman who says that he had been attacking Dr. Bawumia to the point where Dr. Bawumia's opponent, President Mahama, called him to thank him for standing with the NDC. He thought that Dr. Bawumia will use political power against him, but that cannot be done in a democracy. And Dr. Bawumia is not even thinking about that. Dr. Bawumia, however, wants to win minds. He wants to talk to people. He wants people to understand his vision because he's very, very confident about his vision that if he were to engage all the 30 million Ghanaians will vote for him. And that's what the NPP have been saying in their campaign, that looking at Dr. Bawumia on the campaign platform, you are confident that all he needs to do is to engage as many people as he can. Because as soon as he engages you, it is impossible for you not to buy into his philosophy. That's a great politician. And that's not even a normal politician. Dr. Bawumia is not a regular politician. We know that he's a banker. And that is why he's brought the to-dos. You know, the bankers have what they call KPIs. Key performance indicators. And Dr. Bawumia has brought these things into politics and is telling people that, look at me, this is what I have done. This is what I have done. This is the difficulty we have. We've had this difficulty because of this. And the campaign of the NPP are confident that if Dr. Bawumia were to